Hey everyone, I'm ArmorGaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Analysis. Up for analysis today is the light monster known as Monky. This monk is one of the most ancient inhabitants of Mount Annapurna. He has lived there in captivity for centuries and he also comes out to defend his home. He may not go into many battles, but he also has all the skill he needs to always win. So that description is making it sound like this is going to be one beastly monster, so let's go ahead and check out his stats. Monky's power comes in at 3,157, and currently there are 16 light legendary monsters, so this puts him in 11th place. Not a really high power for light monsters. His life is 28,651, which actually puts him in tied for 8th place along with monsters like Cassia and Demise, so not too high and not too low. And his speed is 3,421, which similar to his life puts him in 8th place. Now I will say this for Monky, fortunately for him, the 7 monsters that are faster than him, none of them have a pure mobilizing skill, none of them have like a stun skill, or a free skill, or a possession skill. So it's going to make a little more sense why I'm saying that once I talk about his skills. And finally, his trait is immune to blind, so that gives him an immunity to blind which many light monsters tend to dish out, so in the light category it's a pretty good immunity to have. Blind, as you know, decreases a monster accuracy by 50%, which can be quite menacing. So really quickly, I'm going to breeze through the default skills. I'm going to talk about the special, I'll move on to skills group 1 really quickly. There's only one thing I want to say about that, and then we'll move on to his real skills. So we have Light Pain and Monkey Kung Fu, and his special is called Blessing Runes. Deals very heavy light damage to all enemies, may blind all targets, remove all negative status effects from allies. So this skill deals 60 damage, it is an AoE, it gives blind to the enemy, and it removes negative effects from your team. Overall, it's a pretty good effect. If you're thinking about this in the context of Team Wars, where you're going up against other light monsters that tend to have skills like AoE Daze and AoE Blind, if they happen to blind or daze your team and you happen to get your special, you can AoE blind the whole enemy and at the same time remove all those negative debuffs your monsters may have. And then that 60 damage is just a nice extra touch. This monster isn't an attacker by any means, but it's still nice to have an ultimate that deals very heavy damage. I wish this would have been special damage as opposed to light, but there's nothing we can do about that. In skills group 1 we have a skill called Find Your Peace, Saint Spirit, Total Blackout, and the only skill I want to discuss is Saint Spirit. So Saint Spirit deals 35 damage, it costs 28 stamina, it has a 1 turn cooldown, and yeah, you hit one of the enemies for 35 damage, but the great thing about this skill is that it removes stun from all of your allies. So it's a pretty good skill from skills group 1, and I just wanted to bring it up because it has a better skill in skills group 3. So anyways, let's jump into skills group 2. Starting things off in skills group 2, the skill that's really quite amazing, Rising Anger, deals heavy special damage, target can't attack for the next 2 turns. So it targets a single enemy for 50 damage, it costs 28 stamina, it only has a 2 turn cooldown, and you give the enemy Mega Stun. Mega Stun being like an advanced version of stun, and currently in the game no monster is immune to Mega Stun, of course unless that monster has artifact, but if it's any other monster, no monster is immune to Mega Stun, so this is a really amazing immobilizing skill, and I think it goes without saying this is a must-have skill on this monster. And if you recall earlier on, I said that Monky is definitely not the fastest monster in the light legendary categories, he's in 8th place. There are actually 7 monsters faster than him. Well, fortunately again for Monky is that none of those 7 monsters have a stun skill, have a free skill, have a possession skill, so even if they go first, the best they can do to Monky is daze him. They can't even blind him because Monky's immune to blind, meaning he can still potentially land Mega Stun on an enemy monster. So Monky, pretty good so far. Moving along, we have Magic Circle. Deals moderate light damage, may apply a 100% damage reduction to target. So this skill targets a single enemy, it deals 40 damage, costs 28 stamina, also it has a reasonable 2 turn cooldown, and it applies damage reduction, 100% damage reduction. So this skill you're going to use it against the enemy attacker, and whatever attack they do, whether it be a really strong attack that would have killed you, or whether it be a really strong AoE, it's going to deal no damage. Now if we're talking about Team Wars, Magic Circle can do you wonders. If the light monster is supposed to be like the main deny monster, and your attacker also has some sort of deny skill, you can start the game off by using Rising Anger on the enemy's deny monster, and then that monster is going to be immobilized for 2 turns, and then your attacker, if that monster has a deny skill, he can hopefully deny the enemy attacker, and then I'm assuming the third monster is like a common or an uncommon or a rare, and then when it goes back to your Monky, he's going to be able to use Rising Anger on the enemy attacker. And keep in mind, the enemy's deny monster is still going to be Mega Stun for 1 more turn. So because Monky has Rising Anger and Magic Circle, that could give you a huge advantage in Team Wars. Even if the third monster is a common, using Monky strategically can help you secure 3 coins. And even if you wanted to switch things up and use Monky kind of as a hybrid, so you give him some strength runes, and you have another monster be a deny monster, that can work too. because then your main deny monster can deny both of the enemy's monsters. The enemy's deny monster will be immobilized or whatever. It goes over to Monky. Monky can land his mega stun. It goes over to the enemy's attacker, who's gonna have to recharge or is immobilized. It goes back to your deny monster. It can do whatever. Then the enemy's immobilizer is still gonna be immobilized because of mega stun. It goes over to Monky, and then Monky can use Magic Circle on the attacker, so this monster can really work out great to try to secure 3 coins. So if you're planning on using Monky for Team Wars, do run Rising Anger and do run Magic Circle. And next we have Mantra of Focus. Deals low light damage to all enemies, all allies gain position. So this skill attacks multiple enemies, it deals 30 damage, it costs 35 stamina, has a 3-turn cooldown, and this gives position to all of your allies. Now normally I'm not the biggest fan of a monster that gives position if it doesn't give some sort of damage boost or double damage. And as much as I want to discount this skill, it could potentially come in handy, especially because some of his skills from skills group 3. So now we move on to skills group 3 and we have another interesting unique skill. Golden Monkey Punch deals moderate special damage, all allies become immune to stun. So this skill targets a single enemy, deals 40 damage, costs 28 stamina, has a 2-turn cooldown, and your whole team gets stun immunity for 3 turns. And there's no doubt that in the realm of Monster Legends, this is a really good skill. Giving your whole team stun immunity against an opponent that has an AoE stun skill, you're basically making their immobilizer monster useless, without even having to immobilize them. Now a slight problem with Golden Monkey Punch is that not many light monsters have stun skills. The only monsters that come to mind are Hasai, Queen Luthien, and General Ingvar, and they only have a single stun skill. So yes, this skill could potentially help you out, but at the same time not really. When you're going up against light monsters, you really have to worry more about Daze and Blind. Now of course if you're going up against earth monsters, having this skill would really come in handy. If you're going up against water monsters, this would come in handy against a cabin fish, but then again cabin fish also has AoE freeze. And another slight problem I have with Golden Monkey Punch is that Monky himself is not immune to stun, meaning if the enemy was to land an AoE stun, and Monky was to get stunned too, then of course you won't be able to use Golden Monkey Punch to remove stun from your allies. But at the same time, Monky himself has a Mega Stun, so wouldn't you want to just Mega Stun the enemy immobilizer as opposed to doing Golden Monkey Punch? And that's really all I have to say about Golden Monkey Punch. If you want to use Monky in player versus player, Golden Monkey Punch is a skill you might want to consider, but if you're planning on using Monky in Team Wars, I think I would stay away from this skill. However, really quickly, if you decide not to run Mantra of Focus, then you probably could use Golden Monkey Punch and then another skill from skills group 3. But anyways, moving on to Spirit Control, deals low light damage to all enemies, may slow down all targets. So this skill is also an AoE, it deals 20 damage, costs 35 stamina, has a high 4-turn cooldown, and this skill slows down the targets if it lands. Now the good thing about Spirit Control is that this monster does have Mantra of Focus, which gives them increased precision. So if you were to use Mantra of Focus and then do Spirit Control, chances are slow is going to hit more often than it's going to miss. So it's really up to you. I would only consider running Spirit Control if you do Mantra of Focus first. So you're going to have to run Spirit Control, Mantra of Focus, and then Magic Circle, Rising Anger. But at the same time, I want everyone to consider how long an actual game lasts and if you're actually going to be using all 4 skills. Because if I was to use this monster, the very first 2 skills I would use are Rising Anger and Magic Circle. And once I use those 2 skills, that means that already 2 whole turns have passed. So is there really any need to do Mantra of Focus, which is an AoE, and follow it up with another AoE? Because I personally don't think so. So for that reason, it might not be worth running Spirit Control, but I had to leave that up to you guys. And Monky's final skill is Mantra of Invincibility. Deals heavy light damage, all allies become immune to Daze. So this skill deals 50 damage, costs 28 stamina, it only has a 1-turn cooldown, which is great, and it gives your whole team Daze immunity. And this skill, if you're making a build for Team Wars, I would highly recommend. Again, because lots of light monsters have AoE Daze and AoE Blind. So if you can give your whole team an immunity to at least one of those effects, you're good to go. And best of all, Monky himself is immune to blind. So if he already has a blind immunity and can give himself a Daze immunity, then at that point he doesn't have to worry about having a minus 75% accuracy. And worst case scenario, all your team has to worry about is being blinded. They can't be dazed. So Mantra of Invincibility, pretty good skill. However, this is of course if you're only planning on using Monky for Team Wars. If you want to take him out for player versus players, this skill probably wouldn't come in handy that often. So for Monky, there's a few usable skill sets, but all skill sets involve 2 skills. Rising Anger and Magic Circle. These are must skills that you should definitely run. After Rising Anger and Magic Circle, you're pretty much free to use whatever you want. For Team Wars specifically, I would recommend Mantra of Invincibility. And one thing you notice is that Rising Anger has a 2-turn cooldown, Magic Circle has a 2-turn cooldown, and Mantra of Invincibility has a 1-turn cooldown. Which means if you start the game off with Rising Anger, then use Magic Circle, then use Mantra of Invincibility, and it goes to your 4th turn, Rising Anger is going to be usable again, which is an amazing skill that you probably will be using again. Meaning that this monster's 4th skill, you probably won't even be using it that often. And even though I picked on Golden Monkey Punch and said it might not be worth using in Team Wars, I think at the end of the day, this might still be the best skill to use, just because it's special based, it deals 40 damage and it does give stun immunity, and you never know when that can come in handy. Spirit Control, that could be nice because slow might land, but it's also a low light damage skill. Mantra of Focus of course gives your whole team precision, which if you like precision, if you like giving your team precision, then go with Rising Anger, Magic Circle, Mantra of Focus, and Mantra of Invincibility. But again, I'm stressing, Rising Anger, Magic Circle, those are 2 must-have skills. Mantra of Invincibility would be the 3rd priority skill, and then when deciding the last skill, I think I would say Golden Monkey Punch is probably your best out of those 3, followed by Mantra of Focus, followed by Spirit Control. As for what runes you can use on this monster, first of all you can go Off-Speed runes since he does have that Mega Stun, and he can immobilize one enemy monster for 2 turns, so Off-Speed runes can definitely work for him, especially in those team wars that are like Fire Light or Nature Light, where Fire and Nature don't really have a really good deny monster, then Monkey could work to your advantage. However, if for Team Wars it turns out to be Light and Water, Light and Metal, Light and any element that has a good selection of deny monsters, then for Monkey you can probably give him 1 or 2 strength runes, give him a speed rune or a team speed rune. You're really kind of free to mix around your runes with this monster. So if I was to use him as a secondary like hybrid monster that has the deny skill and I wanted to deal some sort of damage, I think I'd give Monkey 1 or 2 team speed runes so he can supplement my main immobilizer, and then I'd give him 1 or 2 strength runes just so he can dish out a little more damage to the enemy monsters. So as far as runes are concerned, I would say Monkey's pretty versatile, but considering there aren't that many deny monsters in the light category, the best safest bet for people would be to just give Monkey 3 speed runes. And with that being said, that is going to conclude my analysis on Monkey. Thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. Let me know below in the comments what you thought about my analysis. Let me know your thoughts on Monkey. Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Do you think he could be better? Do you think he's one of the top light monsters? Whatever's going on in your head, let me know in the comments below. As always, also be sure to let me know who you want to see analyzed next. And like always, I hope everyone has a good day or a good night. Remember to dream big and pursue your passions.